Good evening, everybody. This is About the Labor Live. Quick show today. I wanted to take yesterday off to decompress, and a lot happened in that day. I just put an article up on VikingsTerritory.com, kind of summarizing what I'm about to say. um, in my post game show, I essentially laid out the fact that it's hard to get encouraged for next season when you don't see a lot of change on the horizon, and there is change there. I think that first, after the Packers Monday Night Football debacle, I talked about if the Vikings were one and done in the playoffs or got destroyed in the playoffs, if people would consider that to be good enough. And I guess I should have framed that differently because, really when I try to talk about expectations, I talk about what I hear the team's goals are, because expectations vary from people to people, from a fan or a writer. And it's very clear that this ownership and this management expects better than what this team has been doing. And, they came out, because there were articles about the same thing. I kind of feel like maybe I pushed that ball out there and said, well, should we talk about making changes in the offseason, assuming this happens? Other people grabbed it. The team kind of came out and said, we fully intend to keep Zimmer around next year and longer than that. But then Saturday happened, and I don't want to make the show into me feeling validated about things that I've said that people message me about or email me, however they get my email, I'm not sure, and say, you're an idiot. No one thinks Zimmer's going anywhere. Look at his regular season record. Look at how bad the team was before him with Leslie Frazier. And I think that it's a loud and clear message. Either Zimmer knows it consciously, subconsciously, or the team is saying this was not good enough. They come out and they say they're sticking with Zimmer, but for Zimmer to fire George Edwards or not renew his contract speaks volumes about the team's response to the 49ers game. They've invested everything. And the depressing thing, at least about the George Edwards thing, is he's kind of a red herring. Zimmer runs that defense. And so for him to let Edwards go, outside of perhaps Edwards wanting to follow Stefanski to Cleveland and be a real defensive coordinator, I think is kind of shitty, because it's Zimmer's fault. And I guess the word is we might have Zimmer's son as the defensive coordinator, who's been with the team for a long time. Whatever. We're just going to get more of the same, clearly. It wasn't Edwards' fault. It was Zimmer's fault. He's drafted these players. He's had full control of this team in every way, in terms of, I want this player, I'm going to get him. I run the defense. I want the defense to be the best it can be. The offense is more of an afterthought in every way possible in the draft, in how Zimmer prepares and the focal point of it. And so, my point is and has been that there needs to be drastic but specific change. I think the frustrating part of this season, or last season now, was that we saw at times this Vikings offense was really, really good. And as they should be. They have a lot of great players, a lot of talent. And I know that seems contradictory because I said they're an afterthought, but I mean, how often do you hit when you're looking for wide receivers in the 5th round and an undrafted guy from Mankato? How often does that turn into what this was? It's not as if they invested 1st-round picks in Diggs and Thielen, or 2nd or 3rd or 4th-round picks even. The offensive line has been an afterthought up until recently, and we've seen the results of that. So that having been said, again, the offense did look really good at times for stretches, and I think a lot of that success came from a certain place, and a lot of the frustration or struggles came from another. And it's been my point all season. I've said this on Morning Joe's. I've said this on this show. I would love if Kubiak could somehow take over this offense. And I guess the silver lining of the San Francisco game is that is a possibility. And now it's been reported that Zimmer's going to take his time in finding the person to run the offense. Outside of health reasons or Kubiak not wanting to do it, it would be insane to not keep him. We've had almost a new offensive coordinator every season and a half under Zimmer. That's not conducive with winning. You can't keep changing what you're doing on offense that drastically. Kubiak knows the players. He knows their tendencies. His entire team came along with him. Dennison, his son Clint. Going out and getting a new guy, this team is built. The offensive line is built to run the zone blocking scheme. You'd have to find a very specific person to do that, and these people are already in place, and they had success doing the things that Kubiak is good at. Kubiak is what Norv Turner wants to be. He's had success nearly everywhere that he's gone, especially as a coordinator. I always point to the 2013-2014 change for the Ravens, how amazing he with the same roster, they were terrible. 30th in running, they went to 8th. In the 20s for passing, they went to 12th. The Vikings have the pieces in place with Kubiak being here to maybe make the offense the focal point of the entire team, because as we've seen, this defense is just not going to be dominant enough to do things that we thought they were going to do. You put the draft capital and all the actual capital into it. You have guys now that are Everson Griffin or Xavier Rhodes or Linval Joseph are all making about $13 million a year apiece. They're 31, 32, and going to be 30, respectively. And you need somebody who can really turn this offense into a powerhouse offense, and I think that person is already there. I think that person is Kubiak. Checks all the boxes. It's not a drastic change for any of the players. He's had success. He's won Super Bowls with rosters that were supposed to win Super Bowls in Denver. And his team is already here, and the team is built. The team itself, the Vikings, the offensive line is built to run what they're doing. Dalvin Cook is used to it and had great success in it. And so as long as you get Stefanski out of the way, which is now the case, and some of his weird tendencies, I'd be a lot more energetic and less suicidal, I guess, if Kubiak was going to be that guy, because there's nothing's going to change on defense. It's probably going to be Zimmer's son. That's not going to excite anybody. Zimmer calls the plays. The players are there. They've been here forever. They've proven even at their peak, and they're not at their peak anymore, that they can't get to the point where they need to be. Hence, they got blown out of the water by the Eagles. That was the impetus for bringing Cousins in, because it was like, well, we need an offense to at least this defense isn't going to dominant. Like I said after Saturday, I've never seen the Vikings, especially in a big game, put their foot on the throat of a team like the Niners did to the Vikings. They outclassed them in every way possible. Part of that was the game plan on offense, but part of that was also that their defense was just better. Their defensive line was better than our offensive line. Why you didn't get Cousins out of the pocket, knowing that everybody knew that, I'll never understand. Personnel and chip with tight ends and fullbacks and running backs, I don't understand that either. Either way, this is where we're at, and I'm really hoping that Kubiak is the guy. So I just wanted to put that out there. It's my fiance's birthday, so I'm not going to do the roll call or multiple topics or check in with you guys. I apologize for that. I'll be back tomorrow. But I just wanted to reiterate, Kubiak, FTW, hashtag. Check out the article on VikingsTerritory.com, PurplePTSD.com. Thanks, guys.